This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Welcome into the Meltdown. Another week of shows here with you live, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, all week long, and we are thrilled to be here with you in the Culver studio. I am Tim Melton. Joining me, a group of my favorite fellow beings, and we make up Meldonia. I'm going to start off with the one and only Tyler Lionel Johns. Tyler, how was the weekend, my friend?
It was busy, but it was good. I watched a lot of movies and did a lot of stuff just here around the studio. We're
going to get into those movies as we do our box office recap. None of those new movies hitting number one, Superman staying in that spot. Will Tyler be seeing Superman a third time? We'll have to get that answer here soon as he nods his head yes. It's called a tease, Tyler. It's a joke.
Dang it.
Yeah, no, it's okay. You had an interesting
go home.
Yeah. You had an interesting interaction with Tom Luganbill on the next round today, talking about Superman, which we will get into here in just a few moments. But glad you're here. And if anybody missed it, we had our Meltdown movie midterm that happened late last week, and you can check that out where we go through what has been the best of the best and the worst of 2025 thus far. As you have seen here on the stream, EG is back with us here in studio. EG, are you worn out or are you recovered from a wild week in Atlanta?
You know, I'm actually recovered because I got to spend the rest of the weekend at home.
Yeah.
So it's been nice. Yeah.
Okay, good. We're going to be getting into the week that was SEC Media Days because it really does feel like football is back for just a minute, and then we have to go back into hibernation for a month.
I know. It's a really weird feeling. I'm in that zone right now where I know it's about to get crazy, but it's not here yet, but I can't ignore it. And then I'm going to blink and it'll be January.
I'm not sure I've ever looked more forward to a college football season than this one.
Me too.
In a state where college football is like upside down, like the whole what is allowed, what is not, like team loyalty's out the window. I mean, it's new roster turnover every year, but for some reason, I'm just like all about wanting to sit down and watch football all day long.
Me too.
Well, you don't get to, though.
I don't get to ever. I get to watch one game.
Yeah.
And that does kind of stink sometimes. The week in December of whether Bama is playing, I say Bama, I'm sorry, Auburn fans, you're not going to be there, but when Bama... I mean, it's just, I'm sorry.
I mean, they'll be happy if they don't have to fire the coach after the year.
Oh, my gosh.
I didn't mean that.
Let's be real.
Visceral.
I went there.
I mean, you didn't say fans of other teams. You specifically said Auburn, you will not be there. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. Bold prediction here.
Golly, I hope people don't clip that.
No, they won't. Nobody would do that.
No, not ever. But there's that 1 week in December, and like all these playoff games are happening, and like whether Bama's there or not, or whether we're waiting to like see what's gonna happen, that is the one time I get to watch all the games, and it's really nice. Like it's kind of fun, and I remember the old days,
right,
where I got to sit down and watch College Game Day all the way through, and
don't you feel a little out of the loop when you're covering, like you know intently what's going on in that one game you're covering more than anybody, but like, don't you feel totally out of the loop of like what in the world's happening in the country? Like,
yes, I feel like I'm in a bubble, and that really came into effect the Vandy Alabama game when I was in Athens covering Auburn, Georgia.
Yeah,
there was not one person on that sideline. I'm, maybe including coaches and players that didn't have some sort of device watching the other game.
Yeah, I mean, it's really
it's a bubble.
It's one of the debates people have with actually attending games. It's like, well, do I really want to go attend this game? Especially if it's going to be a lopsided victory, and it's like you're pretty aware that that's the way it's going to go. Do I really want to go watch this game when I'm having to give up all these other premium games?
Yeah, it's a tough task. I'm up for it, obviously, but it is something I do consider. Like, I haven't done a normal game day as a fan at a college football game since my freshman year of college, I think. Yeah.
I mean, I can't hold you accountable on that, but I'm.
Because after freshman year, I was working every game. And so it's kind of like I would love to do a normal Saturday where someone brings some dip, maybe. Ooh. You have some tailgate food. and
Well,
you kind of just hang out.
I didn't see you as a tobacco user, but I guess if we're going that route, that,
Yeah,
whatever.
She's always got a lip in
Yeah,
when
I
she's
do.
watching a game.
Surprise.
Let me-
Secrets to the trade here.
A lot of coaches decide to go that route with the dip
The
there.
Zen
What's your favorite game day dip?
buffalo chicken dip.
Oh, that's a good one.
Buffalo chicken dip is great.
Yeah, I love buff dip.
What did you just call it?
Buff dip.
Buff dip.
I was expecting Buffy Dippy.
No,
Buffy
buff
Dippy
dip.
would have made much more sense.
What?
Buffy Dippy would have sounded like something you came up with for sure.
Oh, but buff dip doesn't?
No, Buff Dip does too, but this is the type of place where the only buff we talk about is Buffy the Vampire Slayer or
It's
something.
so
but
true.
you are Buffy
She
the
didn't
the
pop
Dip
up
Slayer.
in the movie this weekend.
Oh, okay.
that
We're going to
an
talk about
option?
it. Tyler,
Sorry.
pull back those reins. We're going to talk about it, my friend. Like almost basically right now, because we're going to be talking SEC Media Days here with EG towards the end of the show, getting all the recap there
tea.
with the highlights, as I like to
Yeah.
call it.
Did you guys miss me?
Of course.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there were multiple times during the week where we were talking about something and we went, well, where's EG?
Yep.
Shut up.
Oh, yeah.
Guys.
Go back and watch last week's
Okay.
shows.
I will.
Don't. Anyway, the point I'm getting to is that we're all smiles now, and you can be smiling real big and bright over at Alabama Dental Associates. That's the place where you need to go if you care about your dental health. And hey, it's 2025. Why wouldn't you care about your dental health? It is oh so important. And, if your teeth are falling out, you probably need to get that looked at. But long before your teeth fall out, you need to get on top of those regular cleanings. They're at Alabama Dental Associates. That's Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan. They have teamed up. I call them the Fantastic Three. They have teamed up over at Alabama Dental, and they're ready to take care of all of your dental health concerns on Grants Mill Road. They have a wonderful practice there and an office that as soon as you walk in, you're going to feel like you're home. I sometimes treat it like home. I, bring a big bowl of popcorn, and which is probably not the best thing to do right before you get
No, that's
some
awful.
sort of dental cleaning. Always a mistake to eat on the popcorn before you get your dental cleaning. But if you are someone who goes to the theater and eats popcorn regularly, this is the place that you need to be aware of to make sure that you are getting the most out of your dental health. They're accepting new patients now and can help you feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them 205-956-8977 or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. E.g., Hunter Bussey's not a fan of yours today.
Why? Hunter Bussey, don't even go there.
It's the Auburn comment. He said he was going to talk about how cultured you were, drinking a Fresca, and that he's taking that back now. He was not going to talk about
But,
that. He's
Hunter, you
not.
have to admit to yourself. Acceptance is the first step.
Well,
And-
see, and then the other side of the Auburn fan base is Jay saying he'll only be happy if Freeze is fired. He's
Yeah.
not looking for old Huey boy to turn the program around this year.
No.
He wants him gone.
Well, Hunter, I hope we can be friends again.
I have a feeling that you guys
I
will
feel like we
repair
will
that relationship.
Work this out. Cheers.
Let's talk about the number one movie in the world. That is Superman. It is a movie that I said needed to avoid a 60% plus drop, and it did so. It dropped 54.2% weekend over weekend, which is pretty standard. I feel like there are people either championing this movie as being a smash hit financially, or there's people that are saying that it's an absolute failure because it's not going to reach the $1 billion club, and what a joke it is that it may not even reach Man of Steel numbers, etc. The truth is somewhere in the middle. Like, it's performing pretty much right where it needs to be, which isn't looked at as a huge win, isn't looked at as a huge loss, but e.g., you're a poker player.
I am.
Sometimes finishing even is a win.
It is.
And this movie, Tyler, you've said very passionately, if it finishes even, it should be considered a win.
I think it should, just because of the just awful amounts of brand damage and reputational damage that DC has done to itself, that the entire sort of subgenre of comic book movies has done to itself, whether it's the Sony Spider-Verse without Spider-Man or the DCEU, and even Marvel with their recent stinkers.
And we were talking about this before the show, and I was very passionate about there are DCEU fans that are like, look at this thing coming out and being absolute mid-tier success-wise at the box office. And I'm like, this movie's trying to repair the damage that your beloved DCEU did to comic books and the DC brand. Like, Joker and Batman had to pull you guys out of the gutter because of what you were doing with these team-up movies, what you were doing. Like Aquaman 2, literally no one went to go see that movie after the first one made $1 billion.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a second one.
There we go. See, the weird thing about the DCEU is you have movies like Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, the first one, all crushed it.
Did Shazam, the first Shazam, crush it?
It ended up having legs and getting a decent amount, way more than it was projected. It had a slow start, though.
Okay.
The sequels to all of those movies, abysmal bombs, box office failures.
Yeah.
With Shazam 2, whatever the subtitle for that was. Was it Fury of the Gods?
That is correct.
I
did not see it.
You had Aquaman 2 with Amber Heard doing a really bad British accent. I'm not sure why that's a thing. And then Wonder Woman 1984, which was a huge disappointment for DC fans because the first Wonder Woman with Patty Jenkins as director was really good.
This is how bad Wonder Woman 1984 was. A lot of fans got it for free.
Oh.
Because they put it out on HBO Max at the time. And people still thought it sucked.
Yeah.
And it's like they weren't paying out of pocket for it, and they still thought it sucked. And it was like supposed to be this Christmas gift, like, Merry Christmas, Wonder Woman 1984 is out. I was like, oh, what is this lump of coal that we've been served up?
And then they decided, oh, we're gonna fix everything. Let me call up Dwayne, The Rock Johnson to be Black Adam, which, like, is a kind of well-known villain, I guess.
To be fair, I think it was The Rock that called them and said, I'm going to come in and save your universe.
Oh, that was probably it.
Give me full control.
Yeah, I want this movie, and I want it out now, and it's going to be done exactly the way I say.
Yeah, and it took 14 years to produce. But, and then it teased the return of Henry Cavill, and it never capitalized on that. So how did that go? Nightmare.
Well, we actually got a little bit of clarification from James Gunn on Henry Cavill's departure. Mm-hmm. He and Peter Safran had inked the deal with Warner Brothers, just signed it, and saying, like, James Gunn will be the head of DC Studios, building his own universe. He'll direct Superman. Ink is still drying on that contract, and Warner Brothers turns around and announces that Henry Cavill's still going to be Superman. And so James mentioned in a recent interview, I believe it was with Variety, saying, like, I feel bad for the guy. That's a really just a bad situation to be in, because it wasn't on James Gunn's fault. It was completely the heads of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
That are announcing something prematurely. Well, not even prematurely. Announcing something that they know isn't going to happen minutes after the contract on the new Superman deal is done.
Yeah, I think a lot of this was the power struggle we saw there with DC, especially with The Rock in a big creative position to be able to push for his boy Henry Cavill to continue on with that character. From the sounds of it, it sounds like the meeting ended with Henry Cavill very much just wanting a proper exit. And James Gunn's even teased that in the future Henry Cavill may return in some other role. We've obviously seen that happen already with Jason Momoa.
So I was thinking about this morning. What if in the Superman sequel you have Henry Cavill as General Zod?
0% chance that happens.
Oh, okay.
Now,
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool for those that are wanting to find unity and have peace with the breakup and all that stuff. But I would take actually the negative percent that happens.
Oh.
I know.
What about as Bizarro? That'd be cool.
The chance he shows up in a James Gunn Superman movie in any regard, or a movie that features Superman in it, I would say is less than 0%. But that's just that's how, I think it's just a tough wound. Like, I think a lot of Henry Cavill fans, if he was to somehow get Bond, even though they're not looking for that route and they want a young Bond that they can have be the face of that franchise for 20 years, like, Cavill fans would be able to move on. They'd be able to go, like, it was worth it.
The Cavill fans won't move on.
They would have if he got Bond. They would move on if he got Bond. I feel very confident about that.
I disagree, but that's fine.
Now, they can still hate on Superman, but they would have something to then root for, because Cavill, there's nothing really to root for with him right now, with having a franchise that has legs, proven legs. Mm-hmm. He's jumped in a bunch of franchises that have gone nowhere.
What was the whole situation with The Witcher? Because I remember, the Cavill fans just, the cavalry, as you've affectionately called them, going nuts over that show.
Yeah.
And how much Henry Cavill was into that role.
Yeah. So how many seasons of The Witcher has there been?
I thought there was 2 or 3.
I thought there was 3 with Henry Cavill having done the first 2, but I may be wrong. It may be 2.
I think you're right.
There may be 2 with Henry Cavill having done the first one, but people were, crazy about him in that role, and the show went on without him because of him dropping out of the show. Why did he drop out?
It says creative differences with the show's writer and a desire to stay true to the source materials. He reportedly clashed with the writers who had a different vision for the show's interpretation of the characters and plot, particularly Geralt.
And if I am Henry Cavill, I am very much fighting for every role to have a certain level of prestige and protection around it as possible because of what they did to his Superman. Mm-hmm. I mean, they crippled his Superman.
And apparently some writers of the show had expressed dislike for the books and games, which further fueled Cavill's concerns about the show's direction. Yeah. So that in particularly makes me like Cavill even more.
Sure.
Because you see that so often with these adaptations of particularly video games. They'll go, oh, well, we've never played the games. That's what, like, the Halo development team kept saying. It's like, well, we've never played it. We don't want to play it. And it just feels like you're pushing away the easiest people to attract.
I don't have any problem with Henry Cavill other than he was put in a situation where he could not win, and it brought us all down with him. I mean, the fandom surrounding Man of Steel became toxic. The fandom surrounding his role as Superman and what they decided to do or not do with that role became toxic, and people chose a side. And I was on the side of let's go with the hard reboot. That's what we've got here with Superman. And what's the ceiling on Superman? That's the real question that everyone's had. It's currently at over $400 million worldwide. Is it going to potentially clear the 600 million mark? I think so. I think that's sort of where we're at. 700 million plus would be looked at as a real victory, I think, for this movie. But I think it will land probably in the $600 million club when all is said and done. It faces some stiff competition this weekend, losing its premium screens to a movie that is going for the exact same audience as the Superman audience, which is Fantastic Four: First Steps. And so far, the reviews have been positive for Fantastic Four. I don't buy much into the early reviews. We cover them. We talk about them. We obviously share what's being put out there. One thing that was completely correct about Superman is they called it the most comic book movie ever made, and I think that is a fair assessment with the 2025 Superman. I mean, you really do feel like you're jumping into the middle of a comic book right from the get. Will Fantastic Four be able to help the appetite of those that are looking for strong superhero cinema, or will it continue to water down the genre because it feels like too much too soon because all of this is so similar in tone? We'll see with Fantastic Four this week. Obviously, we'll be having our non-spoiler review of that film on Friday as we continue to game plan for seeing that movie later this week. But Superman at the number 1 spot, this is not going to be a $1 billion movie. I never thought it was going to be a $1 billion movie.
Nope. We both said Jurassic World would make more.
Yes. And I feel very confident that when the month is done, when the year is done, Jurassic World Rebirth will have made more than this and Fantastic Four. But Superman and Fantastic Four also are going to eat each other alive a little bit. Because they're still going to be, like, not only will Fantastic Four take away from Superman, Superman's going to take away from Fantastic Four because Superman is set to be the second highest grossing movie of next weekend. Fantastic Four being the first. It would be, I think, a big miss if Superman drops out of the top 2. Like, is there something else? Is there anything else opening up in Fantastic Four? I don't think there is, right?
I don't think so. There's the new Smurfs movie, which has just been getting absolutely ripped apart.
Well, it wouldn't jump up from this.
Yeah, that's not going to.
No, I'm talking about brand new.
Brand new. I think just Bambi the Reckoning. So nothing's going to overtake it.
Will that make the top 10? We'll tell you next week.
Probably not.
Superman at the number 1 spot. You are a big fan of this movie. You've been labeled as the biggest fan in the office of this movie. And that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
You talked with Tom Luganbill today on TNR. I've been anxiously awaiting this interaction. I'm so happy that you talked with him about it. But before you could even start to talk with him about the movie.
Oh, Brown threw me under the bus.
Brown set you up to be a pinata. Because Luganbill obviously, you could tell his body language did not like the Superman movie at all, whatsoever.
Yeah. So the way this interview, this little section of the interview starts is Brown's going, oh, so Luke's, Tyler saw Superman. He went and saw it twice. He just loved it so much. And as Brown is saying this, Luganbill's just like twitching, like a cat ready to pounce on its prey. You ever seen it? Where they start making those weird noises? That was Luganbill.
I believe that cat is in heat. Anyway, the point I'm getting to is that Tyler is going into the lion's den, literally. Because Luganbill, in full transparency, I have to point this out, was in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Cut. Okay? So I feel like he's a little biased in that he was actually in that movie. He's a diehard Superman fan, and he is a diehard Henry Cavill as Superman fan. So with all that being said, he goes into this one, and it's a reset. It's a completely different tone. It's a completely different energy, and Luganbill wasn't having any of it. And he made it very clear that he thinks this movie absolutely sucks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, well, to be fair, he said it's not a bad movie, but then he goes through and he's like,
it's written horribly. I don't like the acting. I don't like the jokes.
James Gunn can't do anything. My audience wasn't into it. I went in there a second time just so I could yell that this thing, is no good. It's like, okay, I understand he's trying to be professional and he's trying not to be too tough, but it's a very interesting interaction on TNR today. I highly recommend everybody go check it out. But I was not surprised that Luganbill had the reaction that he had, because he feels like, and there's some merit to this, he feels like Superman he had the crap beat out of him the entire movie. And that's...
He did.
He did.
And I hated that too.
You also wanted a super resilient, strong, like overpowered Superman. They tried that with Henry Cavill. Like, there's a whole scene of like a whole courtroom explodes and everybody in it is gone and he's just sitting there like, this kind of sucks. Hate I couldn't do anything about that, and then flies off. It's like, we got that with Man of Steel. It didn't work.
There has to be a balance in getting like your, what rocked, and then being like destructive. There has to be a medium.
Well, I feel like we're going to get that with Corn Sweat. Maybe not so much in this movie, but later on. Because my main disagreement with the Snyder Bros has been, you've got to keep Superman as a Boy Scout to start off with, and then you give him a reason to lose his moral code and start snapping necks like you see him do in Man of Steel.
Oh, you're not gonna get to that.
I don't think you're gonna get that in James Gunn's version, unless he goes the Injustice route.
The opening scene is him like with like blood in his lungs, like can't even breathe.
And once again, Luganbill very passionate that Superman should never bleed.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I got you.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. But Luganbill is, I don't know how else I would say it other than he was rooting against this movie, I feel like, from the onset. And because, his team is down and his team remains down. And
they're not getting back up either.
They're not getting back up.
They're like Superman at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. I have never heard in my whole entire movie fandom existence. So many people not able to deliver a critique of a movie without talking about
The other
the
movies?
previous iteration. Like, I've tried to talk with Snyder Bros directly about this new Superman movie. And every time the conversation, I'm trying to make it about this movie and what they did in this one, it always goes back to Henry Cavill. It always goes back to Zack Snyder. It always goes back to Man of Steel. It always goes back to Batman v Superman. It always goes back to Justice League. Some of the worst, by the way, some of the worst superhero content ever made.
Yes. Yes.
In that whole era.
Man, Batman and Robin is actually, like, watchable compared to a lot of the Snyderverse. There, I said it.
See, you're doing the thing, though, where you go back and you talk about a previous iteration to justify your take on the current iteration. I'm not saying that's a negative because
I enjoyed this version. I actually enjoyed it compared
Right.
to other ones.
Right, I'm talking about Batman and Robin compared to Man of Steel.
Oh.
Both can suck, and both do suck. However, you're right, Batman and Robin, much more digestible. But that's tough coming from a Batman fan. But I would rather watch Batman and Robin than Batman v Superman. That's where I'm at. I think Batman v Superman may be Justice League, the Joss Whedon Justice League is worse. But Batman v Superman is tough. The Martha sequence alone is just the most damning thing I've ever seen, maybe in a superhero movie with that much hype and build up. And the audience, you could just tell, was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Is this really happening right now? Like in the opening night, packed out theater. Oh, and they're friends now. Oh, okay. They were just trying to kill each other for 2.5 hours, and now they're best friends. And now Bruce is at his funeral, like mourning his loss, and it's like, what is happening?
It's like, I have to form the Justice League to honor his memory.
This is crazy. E.g., those crackers smell horrible. I just want to let you know. I don't know what is.
Is it one of those like?
They're healthy crackers, okay?
What is it? What is that? Is that
Garlic.
garlic? Okay. I don't mind garlic. It's strong.
It smells like almonds to me.
Okay. Well,
They're non-GMO, gluten-free, no added anything.
Got to go with Doritos. Get some of that good red
The
40
who?
in you. Doritos.
Oh, I thought you said the Ritas. I was like, I don't know who the Ritas are.
yeah.
Parmesan and garlic.
By the way, Joel in the chat, we appreciate Joel being here talking about Henry Cavill having Warhammer and Highlander right now. And
Would you consider either of those movie franchises?
no. But that's kind of, it backs up my point with Henry Cavill, right? And I think Joel is pointing this out to talk about what Henry Cavill's doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Any franchise he's a part of, he can't really take that torch and run with it. He can't get it across the finish line. He can't move something forward, even though he looks like the prototypical movie star.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he looks the part in everything he does.
Oh, I still think he's great casting as Superman.
Same.
He looks like Superman just
Agreed.
walking around in real life.
Same. Like, and I think people, what they have done with his version of Superman is they look at him in that suit and go, that right there is Superman. And then they can't justify in their brain anything narratively that they've done with the actual character. Like, they just see him and go like, that's a
him.
guy I don't want to fight. It's the same with Ben Affleck's Batman. Like,
Oh, no, that one's even worse.
Like-
I'll defend Henry Cavill Superman every day before that one.
they both suck. But Ben Affleck's Batman, like, people look at him going like, oh, that is like, man, like, Gym Bros will look at Henry Cavill Superman and Ben Affleck's Batman and go, that's the best the character's ever been, because they look physically imposing, because Zack Snyder cares so much about the way things look compared to how they function. And that is the problem with Zack Snyder. He cares way more about aesthetic than he cares about connectivity. And, like, people are connecting with these characters from when they see them, they're like, oh, they make up their own story of, like, what this Superman's capable of and what that Batman's capable of. But, like, the actual products we're given are slop. They suck. They are really bad. Batman is branding people to be murdered in prison. Batman's using guns. He's fighting parademons. What is happening right now? I mean, it's like,
Oh, man.
they're the only thing they bond over is they're both mama's boys, and you know they both have the same names associated with their moms. It's awful. These movies are awful, but this is a palate cleanser in Superman 2025, and I understand it's not for everybody. I totally get that. And I'm not head over heels with the movie just being like this all-time great comic book feature. But what it is, in my opinion, is an all-time great comic book reset. Because everyone's going to remember where things were before this movie came out, and now we get a chance to see maybe a decade of what can be built around this foundation that has been laid. And I'm happier about the foundation than I am about the single entry of what this movie is. This movie has a chance not to get better for me on a second watch, third watch, fourth watch. I feel like I got this thing figured out pretty quick. But it has the chance to get better for me in terms of its impact on what it does for the entire DCU. And it has set the stage where right now, things are trending upwards. And that's what I'm choosing to do. I'm choosing to look up. I'm choosing to be optimistic. I'm choosing to be hopeful. I'm choosing to be kind about this experience. And I'm looking very forward to seeing where things go with Peacemaker Season 2, with Lanterns, with Supergirl. But eventually it's going to get down to one character, and everybody knows it. Everybody's afraid to say it, but everybody knows it. What do they choose to do with Batman? That's the cash cow of the DC universe. And no matter how many Superman featured stuff that they do before then, all anyone's really going to be talking about is what is James Gunn going to do with Batman? And I want to know. Everybody wants to know. This press tour, everybody's been asking, who's going to be Batman? What's the deal with Batman? Where's Batman? And James Gunn's probably really tired of having to answer those questions, even though he's playing coy, because I know he's got some stuff figured out.
So he's been talking about like Clayface and other projects coming out recently, and somebody asked him, "What director would you like to get for the DCU?"
Yeah.
Matt Reeves, because he hasn't done one for me yet.
Right. It was a complete safe answer,
Yes.
and it was smart. And I'm still not ruling out that Matt Reeves' Batman may end up tying into the DCU, but we'll see. But he was asked about Brave and the Bold. He was asked, when will that release? He said that he probably won't release anything Batman DCU while Matt Reeves has his Batman 2 out. And
So
we'll see.
that makes me think that Matt Reeves is going to rework his trilogy to kind of lead into a more DCU style Batman, maybe. Because Robert Pattinson has talked about a lot of different stuff he wants to do as Batman.
Yep.
A lot of it similar to what James Gunn wants to do with Batman. None of it is what Matt Reeves has mentioned he wants to do with Batman. Like, Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson, they really bond over their nerdiness of the Court of Owls and Hush and characters like that. But when it comes to Damian Wayne and the whole Bat family doing the Death in the Family storyline, that's all Robert Pattinson and James Gunn nerding out. Matt Reeves has never mentioned those storylines.
Fair point.
So, given that and the fact that we would be approaching in the Batman Part 2 or the Batman Part 3, depending on how much time is covered in Part 2.
We will be in our 50s, by the way, when the Batman Part 3 comes out.
That is true. Even I will be. And so what I want to know is, if we get to year 3 in Batman's career with the Matt Reeves stuff, could that be a way to introduce Dick Grayson, and then that way you have more foundation laid out for a DCU Bat family that James Gunn can just pick up and run with? Because when Matt Reeves posted the Batman Part 2 script, he had the caption, "Partners in Crime."
Robin's been teased for a long time in being in some of the grittier Batman properties. I don't think it translates to film. Like, Hit Girl works in Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Because you just kind of take that for what it is. You're getting fed this, little mouthy girl can do some damage, and you just kind of go with it, but the stakes aren't there that you would have in a Batman property. It's hard for Batman to have a young Robin out there fighting crime with him and justify it to a general audience on screen.
Yeah.
Like, I think James Gunn will take the Robin side of things, the Teen Titan side of things, and like really be able to run with that and make it fun and light and colorful and sell toys and, you know, make it more appropriate than what Matt Reeves would do in a world where, coming off the Penguin, it's just as bleak as can be. And I just don't think they're ever going to really get into Death in the Family the way that they sort of teased that they were going to in the previous iteration. But I think Robin's going to stick way more with the DCU, James Gunn side of things. And who knows, maybe we even get a dose of Robin before we get Batman. So it's like Robin is a way to introduce Batman compared to the other way around.
There's potential for that.
Yeah.
Considering that there's already a draft of Teen Titans done.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'll have to see. I know Alan Richardson from Blue Mountain State and from Reacher and also from the HBO Titans show.
Yep.
He really wants Batman to be Batman in Brave and the Bold.
I think he's willing to pay to have the part. I think he's willing to take no salary and pay to have a chance because of how bad he wants it. And he looks the part. I don't know if Brave and the Bold Batman is what I would want him in. I mean, he seems like, he's Reacher, right? I mean,
I would honestly like him as Aquaman, I think.
Oh.
I think he looks like he could be a good
I don't
Aquaman.
think he has any interest in Aquaman.
I don't think he does either, but I don't think he had any interest in playing, was it Hawk of Hawk and Dove in the Teen Titans? And not even the Teen Titans that everybody likes. I mean, like the OG Teen Titans from the 80s.
Yeah. We just, by the way, it was just the anniversary of Dark Knight Rises this past weekend coming out in theaters. And I just cannot, once again, get over the fact that Tom Hardy, I think, crushes it as Bane in that movie. I think he's really, really good. But he's totally undersized for the role, and they make movie magic happen, and he looks daunting and physically intimidating and stuff. But I would love to see Bane explored in the DCU in a way that is over the top.
Yeah, I want to see comic accurate Bane. Luchador Bane.
Yes. Yeah. And, you know, Batista's always wanted the role. He's past his moment of being able to pull that off, even though, once again, some movie magic could come in there. But
I don't want Batista a part of it. We're trying to make a serious movie here.
Yeah. But once again, the Dark Knight trilogy, they're releasing these steelbooks here soon that I own it in every single format, and I feel like I'm probably going to buy these steelbooks too. But it's amazing how much comic book cinema has changed over the course of the past 20 years. And I'm excited to see where it's going for the first time in a while, and I'm hoping Fantastic Four continues to build that excitement as we see that this week. But Superman holding strong domestically, especially. It's really not performing as well internationally, overseas, but performing really well here in the States as it got $57.2 million here in its sophomore run, avoiding that 60% drop-off. What you got for the chat?
Got some discussion from Joel Familia just regarding the DCU. He says everything will lead to the new gods again, but they'll take their time this time. Hopefully, if that's what they're building to, because they definitely need to take their time instead of just shoehorning as many team-ups as you can. He also says, no, we're not getting Pattinson. Gunn has confirmed it so many times. Yes, he has, and he's also been playing coy. I would like to believe that the world can have two separate Batman movies of two totally different tones, because I do agree with your next comment that Pattinson's is more of a grungy, realistic approach, and Gunn wants the fantastical side in there. I think you can have two different styles of movies, but I think there's also worry on what audiences will think of that, because if you recall the Batman cartoon from 2004, they couldn't use the characters Scarecrow, Ra's al Ghul, and I think maybe Victor Zsasz and one other one, because they were all scheduled to be in the Batman Begins movie. Now, obviously, the Batman cartoon you watch on Cartoon Network has no bearing on the Christopher Nolan trilogy, but Warner Brothers was still worried that audiences will get confused. And then he also says, Pattinson's Batman hasn't met Talia al Ghul, so how the heck can we fast track into Damian? That's kind of where I've been held up on this whole thing, too. James Gunn has just mentioned so many times that he wants to do The Brave and the Bold and have it be a story about Bruce and Damian's relationship going from, like, personal to crime fighting, yada, yada.
If they screw up Batman in the DCU, it doesn't matter how much goodwill they've earned with Superman and all these other characters.
Correct.
That's how important Batman is. Now, I say that as a Batman fan, but I also say it as a realist for what the box office for the DCU, what its ultimate goals of what it wants to achieve, it all rests on Batman. And they're slow rolling the release of Batman. So that way, and I'm not talking about the Batman Part 2, I'm talking about him within James Gunn's world.
Yeah, no, James Gunn would love the Batman Part 2 to have already been out.
Probably so. Or at least coming out this October or next October. But 2027 is where we'll have to wait for that. 2027 is shaping up to be a huge movie year. And we'll see how things go there. But Superman, a nice, fresh palate cleanser from our perspective. A lot of other people going and hate watching it. But those ticket sales still count at the end of the day. Jurassic World Rebirth, horrible movie, dropping off 42% week over week. It has now spent 3 weeks in the top two of those in second place, and continues to do relatively well for the summer slate, but not relatively well when you look at the entire Jurassic World franchise. Will this movie hit $1 billion? We will see. It's currently at $647 million worldwide, but I think it is a safe bet that it will make more money than Superman.
International audiences are carrying that movie.
Yes, very much. Now, we get into some new flavor. I Know What You Did Last Summer at the number 3 spot here, making $13 million. Tyler, you do not seem to be a big fan of this movie.
No.
I've heard it is, at best, extremely generic.
Man, that's being real generous. This movie is garbage. It is just a Temu version of the original with like a lot of Gen Z slang. Yeah, it's real rough.
Sounds awful.
You got your main characters talking about Pluto being in Mercury or whatever the hell those astrology girls say. You got a lot of just like, yo, bro, before the killer like swings his hook. Yeah, it's cringe, and the worst part is it's just boring. The kills are uninteresting, and it's the same story as the 97 version, but worse. I was hoping that it would be sort of like a sneaky Final Destination Bloodlines situation, where I'm just going in dreading it because there have been so many bad sequels. I went through the entire I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise over the past few days as well. So all of them are very fresh on my mind, and I don't even know where to rank this one because it's really, really bad. It does nothing to enhance previous movies, and there's just nothing to set up in this movie. Like, there's no hook.
Wow. Wow. Well, it sounds like that movie has you feeling blue. Speaking of blue, Smurfs in the number 4 spot, and no kid in the entire world is talking about this movie. Quit trying to make Smurfs movies happen.
They keep
Agreed.
trying to make it a thing, but like, even me, who was absolutely obsessed with every show that did reruns on Boomerang, all of the old cartoons, I watched more Hong Kong Phooey than I did the Smurfs.
I was wondering if we were going to get a Hong Kong Phooey reference here on the Meltdown, and we finally did. It took this long. Smurfs there at the number 4 spot. The only thing I really know about this movie is it's got Rihanna in it, and she's been pushed out there front and center on the red carpet.
Well, that's the only marketing they've done for this movie. Like, a lot of the posters just say Rihanna is Smurfette and have a picture of Smurfette on there.
Yeah.
And, like, the actual title of the movie and when it comes out will be at the very bottom.
Most kids don't care about Rihanna.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So.
And no kids care about the Smurfs.
Yeah. The Smurfs there at the number 4 spot. The leading family film, I guess, of the weekend, but still a pretty poor outing there in the number 4 spot. F1 the movie remaining in the top 5. It has spent 4 weeks now in the top 5. And once again, I think, as we've said, a technical spectacle. E.g., you saw this movie.
I did.
You really loved it.
Loved it.
And do you want to see a sequel? Because you've had some qualms about seeing a sequel to your favorite movie of all time, Top Gun / Top Gun Maverick, which you consider one movie.
I could do a sequel. F2.
I was waiting for that. Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it. I'd like to see the love story more.
Okay. Well, F1 the movie, very fun.
Easy.
F stands for fun in that movie.
Amen.
And I don't know what else to say. It's holding pretty well, dropped less than 30% weekend over weekend, and making $9.6 million here in the July box office for this past week. How to Train Your Dragon at the number 6 spot. Eddington at the number 7 spot. This is the new Ari Aster movie, which also has him re-teaming up with Joaquin Phoenix. So I've seen Hereditary. I've seen Midsummer. I have seen Beau is Afraid. And this movie was on my top 10 most anticipated list because my thought was there's no way he has 2 total back-to-back misfires, right? Like, Beau is Afraid is one of the strangest movies I've ever seen, one of the most memorable movies I've ever seen, but it's a bad movie. And I will say that. It's not a good, not a good film.
It takes a bigger swing than any other movie could.
Right. I agree with you. So my thought was, I'm going to buy up all the stock I can in Eddington because there's no way he makes 2 back-to-back stinkers, because Hereditary and Midsummer are really good horror movie, modern horror movie. I don't want to say classics yet because we're not there yet, but I mean,
It's seen as like
prestige horror.
Prestige horror, high art horror, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
So we get to Eddington. You've seen it. I have not. It's about a 3-hour experience if you're seated in the theater and you've got all the advertisements beforehand. I haven't been able to carve out 3 hours because of showtimes and stuff, but you've seen the movie.
Times.
You've seen the movie.
Yeah.
This is another absolute dud.
I wouldn't say absolute. I don't know where I stand on this movie because, like, the first hour 20, really solid. Just like, just tensions are rising. You can feel it.
It's set during COVID for those that don't know.
It's set during May 2020. Masks mandates and protests are at the all-time high that they were at in May 2020 in this movie. So you see a lot of elements from that. You see a lot of, I don't know, how should I put it, social behaviors one could experience during COVID.
How's Joaquin in the movie?
Well, he's pretty solid. Nothing
stand out? Who is the standout of the movie? Is there one? The one performance that makes you go like, wow, really enjoyed seeing the range that was on display there?
I guess
Nothing?
nobody. Pedro Pascal just shows up and he does his thing. It's not to say it's bad, but it's nothing that we haven't seen before. Emma Stone's in this.
I'm more confused after review than before it.
Emma Stone's in this. Her performance it's in the movie.
Okay. So is it better or worse than Beau is Afraid?
So, like, when I watched Beau is Afraid, it just took me on an absolute trip. And I feel like I have to respect Beau is Afraid more for that. But if we're just talking about the overall narrative, I like Eddington more.
Will it be a movie that 20 years from now, people go back and watch and go, that's what COVID was like? And it hold up as some sort of historical piece of cinema?
I mean, right now it's the only COVID-centric movie I can think of. So unless we get more of those that surpass this one, then yeah, it would be remembered as being a movie reflecting that time. Because I do think that it shows like the arguments that we were having at the time and different, like I said, behaviors, mob mentalities that erupted on both sides. Does a pretty good job of showing that with some nuance in a way where I don't think either side of the political aisle could walk into this movie and be like, Ari Aster's just looking to make fun of me and what I believe.
Well,
so
almost nobody went to go see this movie.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It did not draw anybody in, and
I mean, can you blame people for not wanting to see a movie about COVID?
I don't blame them, even though during COVID itself, people were looking for movies to kind of share the experience. I remember Contagion.
Contagion went viral during that. Yeah.
Went viral, and that was a movie I had seen when it originally came out.
Mm-hmm.
But it is one of those first movies I thought about. I really thought about Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead as well. It's a very similar sort of feeling of like everybody sort of losing their mind and needing to figure out an isolation plan.
I thought about Fallout because when I was in Auburn, everybody's walking everywhere, and everybody's walking with like bandanas and sunglasses, just fully covered up, and it felt like we're walking through the wasteland.
It was just a strange time. I just wonder how much Eddington captured that strangeness. It sounds like it did more to sort of remind you of an era you didn't want to be back in. So we'll see. I'm going to check it out at some point.
There is some humor in it though.
Okay. Dark humor, I assume.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
Speaking of something that has nobody laughing, that's Elio. As I've been determined that Lilo and Stitch is going to make more in a single weekend than Elio at some point. Almost this weekend. Elio dropping. It's in over 2,000 theaters. It dropped 50%. It's at $2 million this weekend. Lilo and Stitch at $1.5 million. Lilo and Stitch has been out 9 weeks. Elio's been out 5. So, Lilo and Stitch passing the $1 billion mark, which is the only $1 billion movie of the year so far.
One thing I keep seeing online is movie theater employees going, "Why are we still showing Elio? We get 2 tickets sold per showtime, if that."
Yeah. I mean, Smurfs and Elio, big family movie misses of the summer for sure. Yes. 28 years later, they're staying in the top 10. It has spent 5 weeks out there, all in the top 10, making $68 million. The fact that Elio and 28 years later is at the same amount of money domestically is a big, big loss for what Disney was trying to do with their Pixar brand and original storytelling. You're about to see a lot of sequels coming out. A lot of sequels. Because Pixar is not going to continue to play this game of taking these wild chances on new property, even though they do have a new movie that they're already sort of teasing and promoting out there. And we'll see how that does.
Yeah.
People love cute animals.
That's
okay,
true.
That's going to do it for our box office. As Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning fell out of the top 10 for the first time. It's been out for 9 weeks. And Megan 2.0, after just 4 weeks, dropping out of the top 10, making less than $1 million this weekend. It nearly wraps up its domestic total at less than $25 million, which is a huge misfire considering the entire run of Megan 2.0 won't be as successful as the opening weekend of the original Megan. Materialists also falling out of the top 10. So Tyler, you maybe have lost your chance to see what is the greatest line delivery of this entire year with "You're just a pimp. You're a pimp. You pimp." That's Materialists.
All
right. I am ready now to talk a little bit about how pimpin' SEC Media Days was this past week.
Okay, what a segue. Ew.
I know. I hate my segues too. My question is, E.G., when you're looking at encapsulating all the memories from those 4 days spent in Hotlanta at the College Football Hall of Fame, which is if you have not been to the College Football Hall of Fame and you're a college football fan,
You got to go.
I mean, what are they missing?
Nothing.
I mean, they got everything.
They really do. I will say, from a Media Days perspective, it doesn't quite hold all of us. So there are some challenges that come along with that. That doesn't really apply to my list, but maybe honorable mention. It's cool. They also kept it 30 below in there the entire week. I was freezing. There was on camera, if you guys y'all weren't watching, but at times y'all could see my hair blowing in the wind. There was such a draft.
That sounds awful.
It was.
You don't like to be freezing cold, especially in the summer.
Yeah, it was awful.
Okay.
A plant. I had to go rejuvenate outside in the sun.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's just a little extra bonus
Yeah.
for what was your 5 big highlights from SEC Media Days.
Yeah.
You rolled up there on a Sunday.
I did.
You stayed longer than anybody else here on staff. Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about it. Where are we starting with number 5 in your highlights?
Number 5. I had the best matcha in an unexpected place.
I honestly 100% cannot tell you what matcha is. What is matcha?
It's like a green tea bev, if you will.
Okay, that would have been maybe my top 20 guesses.
Yeah, it's a green tea powder, and it's like an alternative to coffee for caffeine.
Oh.
It's really good, but it's an acquired taste to some.
I have not acquired that taste yet. I've tried it a
people say it
couple
tastes like
times.
grass.
It does, yeah.
I like the matcha man, but not.
No, matcha. It's green tea. Like, have you ever had green tea ice cream?
No.
Okay. Well, maybe you dip your toe into it with green tea ice cream.
So it's good for like fungi relief or like.
No.
Oh, you mean figuratively dip your toe?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Do not stick your toe in a container
Ew.
of Bluebell, Tim.
I thought that you meant like it was good for toes.
No, I mean, like, if you want to get into the matcha realm, just try it by getting green tea ice cream.
I am so sorry for what I'm doing to your segment.
It's okay. Okay. The place it was like in the hotel, like, Omni convenience store. It was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is number 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to throw it out there.
That goes to show just how impactful SEC Media Days was this week.
Yeah, I will say that it was kind of a down year for a storyline.
I can tell. All right. At number 5, a random purchase from a convenience store. It can only go up from here. Literally. Let's go to number 4.
Number 4, Beyonce, the Mart, the All-Star Game, and Media Days all being in town at the same time was insanity.
You left out WWE, which was also in
They were in
town.
Atlanta?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Saturday night's main event was Saturday, and then they had Evolution.
Well, we were done by then.
They had Evolution Sunday night.
We were like the last Sunday, or like,
It was the weekend where
Leading
y'all
into it.
that y'all arrived.
okay, so it was over by the time we kind of got there.
Okay. Take the win however you want to spin it.
Okay, add WWE, whatever. So, but they were all there, and it was like the costumes for Beyonce mixed with like the people working / like having to shop at the Mart, which is it's clothing boutiques. It's a huge event. And they have like Dallas Marts, New York, Atlanta. It's insanity. I've worked the Mart. My back has never hurt like it has that week of my life. So you have all of these owners of businesses in town for that. And then you have the All-Star Game, and then you have Media Days. All of that in one city.
In WWE.
Plus that thing. It was insanity. The traffic was wow, but the costumes and like the different conglomerates of people you'd see walking around was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did it make you? Go
Did
ahead.
you hear that someone getting scared of a bug caused a
Yeah,
stampede
a
at
stampede.
the Beyonce concert, and
Yeah.
Marta got shut down?
Yeah. Marta is a choice anyways, but that is crazy. Someone like a kid screamed, and it was like, bug!
Yeah.
And then everyone that was there started running.
Oh,
I know.
that sounds like it could be very traumatizing.
Yeah.
To be caught up in that.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3.
Yeah, Dunaway became a fortune teller. Yes. If I had to experience it, you guys have to also be part of this. He started sharing fortunes with a deck of cards like this, actually. And
What?
yes.
Have you heard this?
I have not heard this.
Yeah, so he started telling everyone their fortunes based on this formation and the cards that were drawn.
Was he reading tea leaves over there too?
I mean, basically, he even gave other media members their fortunes. It was unique. And I would love for him to give you a fortune with this method, but I don't even think I could replicate it. But he was reading fortunes.
Dunaway kept saying on air,
Ace of Diamonds.
no.
Oh.
He kept saying that he had like young professionals that would approach him and go, "You've been to a lot of these. Give me life advice," or like,
Oh, really?
yeah. Or like, "I hope I grow up and one day I'm like you and I've been to 35 of these," that sort of thing. And I'm just wondering how many of those were him tracking people down and going, "Can I read your fortune to you?"
Maybe.
And how many of them were like actual admirers? I don't know the answer to that, and I will
Yeah.
never know the answer to that.
No, I took the reins of my own fortune of discerning what he was flipping over. I didn't want to run the risk of him giving me the fortune.
I was thinking the same
Yeah.
thing. He is the last person I'd ever want to read my
Oh,
fortune.
especially you, Tyler. You guys have a history.
Yeah, we do.
That is correct. On the show live.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
literally landmined you here on the air.
Maybe he'll give when he like returns. Maybe I'll ask him if he can give you guys a reading.
We're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass.
I don't know if you really want that, if we're being honest.
Okay, so let me just make sure I got this right. 5 biggest highlights from SEC Media Days. Number 5, convenience store purchase.
Matcha, it was delicious.
Number 4, the Beehive and WWE. Number 3,
and the All-Star game.
Number 3, Dunaway reading people's fortunes to just randomly in a random way. And I've never seen him do this parlor trick before.
No, I haven't either. I don't think he's seen himself do it before.
He just felt it. His calling was to.
Yeah, I think, isn't that when you're gifted with the, what is it even called?
ESP?
No.
A midlife crisis?
This
Clairvoyant?
guessing game could get dangerous. I guess the gift of clairvoyance struck him.
Oh,
and
okay.
It just, all at once, he knew that he had a gift that he wanted to use.
All right. Well, hey, he is the reigning, defending season 13
And he used these cards.
PTPC champion,
Yeah.
which
So,
is the most shocking thing in the world ever. But my thought is that he's a giant Taylor Swift fan. He has, a Taylor Swift tattoo.
he does.
And he won season 13. And I feel like there's a correlation there.
You know that?
He probably does not.
No.
He probably does not. All right. Let's move on to number 2.
Texas unfortunately walked out to Texas A&M's fight song.
I
And
saw that.
it was like really uncomfortable.
Now, Sark played it pretty cool.
Yeah, he did. He did.
But that's unfortunate.
Yeah, someone got fired. I mean, you quite literally have one job.
Can confirm that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm just assuming you quite literally have one job, and it's to play the right, click of a
I
button.
thought maybe as a reporter there on the field, on the ground, that you had actually heard somebody taken out back.
No. I did expect them to play the Eyes of Texas for A&M. It didn't happen. So A&M got their fight song played twice.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was very uncomfortable. Because it was one of those things where everyone's looking around. It's like, no way this is happening, but it is happening.
It's one way to juice up the rivalry.
Exactly. And also that Tuesday, the slate of media days was very off balance this year. Tuesday was like insanity because we started off with Georgia, then we had Auburn, then we had Tennessee and Texas. So any day after that is going to kind of decline. Mm-hmm. But there was so much anticipation for Texas because of my number 1 point, Arch Manning. Like, the hype around this kid was insane. It was palpable. You could feel it in the air. It's like a Manning and the SEC. They just go together like peanut butter and jelly. And this kid is like, he looks like he's dressed, ready to lead chapter at his fraternity in khakis and like the striped tie, which was pretty funny. And then, you have Sark come out, Texas A&M fight song, and then the insanity of Arch just like trying to get to his little podium. Never seen anything like it.
Which you captured, right?
I did. I was the first one there.
Yeah. Like you were on top of it. You were right there in the trenches all week long, making things happen for our coverage, which was brought to you by Baptist Health, which we appreciate very, very much. But yeah, I mean, you were soaking it all in.
I was.
But like it did feel like, and I don't know if it's the location.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the year. I don't know if it's the fact that there is not a Saban at this event. From a coaching perspective, it just felt empty. There's something about it that felt empty from the outside looking in, and I love SEC Media Days.
I would agree. And I think that part of it is the storylines are the House settlement, which the casual football fan really doesn't care about.
Right.
And it can't really be explained on Twitter.
Right.
Arch Manning, which has been beat to death a million times.
Already going into this event.
Already going into it. Nico at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Already been, discussed, talked
Now, had
about.
he transferred to another SEC program, I mean, that
there
could
might be a little more.
Yeah.
But he didn't. So no one really cares about that anymore. Alabama quarterback competition, but we've talked about it a million times. There was no storylines that came out of media days, I would say, that were shocking, and there weren't any going into it that was like, man.
There was one storyline that right out of the gate became a thing for a minute.
Saban coaching.
And it was, will Saban be coaching again?
You know how that came about, though, right?
I know exactly how that came about.
So it was like fodder. Like, this is boring. He was bored, too, apparently. And he realized that this is going to be a down year, so let's throw that out there to begin with.
And it was the best thing that came out of media days.
Agreed. And, like, the whole arc of it of, like, who said this? And then, it was Lane Kiffin.
As someone who edits the Cover Crimson content, yeah, that was a big story that just popped up.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think that really was the standout of media days because nobody in college football seems to have the level of like the cult of personality that is Nick Saban.
well, yeah, but then for Lane Kiffin to just like admit at the end of the week, like, or I guess it was that Monday, that, like, yeah, that was me. It was a weird cycle. It was like it was such a thing, and then it was over in a day.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't
But
know.
you know, it gets the imagination
Yeah.
brewed up, which is what you want during an SEC Media Days week. And you know, once again, I'm glad that it happens.
Agreed.
I miss it being right down the street in Hoover for sure. But I also think that venue does no benefits to it because it feels so spread out.
It is so spread out. Like, you have the hotel that most things are in, but then you have like the Hall of Fame area that some things are in, and so you have electronic media finding out information. This is the best way to describe SEC Media Days. You know less being there than you guys do just scrolling through Twitter.
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
there's so many things happening at once. And like players are somewhere, coaches are somewhere, the scheduling is all different. So you could have a coach reveal something to their local media and then they don't come to main media for another 2 hours.
Right.
So you miss more actually being there than you do just scrolling.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense
It's
because
crazy.
I've worked those events multiple times, and while I love the sort of organized chaos
Yes,
that
me
those
too.
events
Mhm.
are, like, and there's a certain energy that's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're getting back
Yeah.
into it. You do feel very scattered as well.
It's
Like you
so
can't get a grip
crazy.
on everything. So
No.
with you. Well, appreciate all your efforts there. Appreciate you reporting back for us and getting back to us here on the Meltdown. EG will be in with us this week, I think,
Yeah.
all week long, unless you're being sent off for some other assignment, which
I'm always open.
always possible that can happen. But that's going to do it for us here on the Meltdown today. We appreciate all of you, and we appreciate the good back and forth there in the chat. EG, I'm going to talk with her off air, and Hunter, we're going to see if maybe we can get EG back on, you know, keeping the door open there for Auburn to maybe reach the college football playoff. No, not happening.
No, I'm sorry, guys.
Okay. Well, you know, they'll still have really great home attendance.
Yeah,
all
they
year
will.
long.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
You guys will have a great year.
Tailgating.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're just going to leave it at that. We appreciate all of our fine sponsors, including Culver's, including MyBookie. Hey, the season is straight ahead. You want to go ahead and sign up there at MyBookie. Use promo code NEXTROUND for that first-time deposit bonus. That is promo code NEXTROUND at mybookie.ag. MyBookie.ag. There, use promo code NEXTROUND for that first-time deposit bonus. For EG, for Tyler, I'm Tim. We'll see you again tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern.